have control or you can have growth, but you can't have both. The question is, what one do you want? If you're sitting here, you want, I want to keep control. Fantastic. The rest might not apply to you. But if you actually want growth, if you want to see growth both in your music academy, music school, but also in the people around you, you're going to have to learn to do this, kill the control freak. Now, this is a challenging thing for many of us. This is one of the most common questions I get asked, or one of the common things we talk about on our coaching calls in the BAM squad is, how do I delegate? I just don't know how to delegate. I've tried things before, I haven't figured it out, like whatever. And I understand that, but when it comes to delegating, the payoff is so rewarding. And remember, I was able to take 2.5 months off to go travel the world and hang out with my family, which was awesome. It wouldn't have been possible if I hadn't delegated things to my staff. The reality is I could be running that whole business and remove 2 staff members and still be able to do it all. And if I wasn't doing the church and had a family that I wanted to keep. So I don't want to do it that way, but it would be possible if I wanted to make a whole lot more money or whatever, or if I wanted that control. But I've learned to say, no, I'm going to kill the control freak, I'm going to develop leaders, and that is going to free me to do other things that I want to do. So one of the greatest challenges we face is how. Do people resonate with that? How do I delegate? We'll go through some details in a second, but the greatest piece of advice I can give you is just do it. Because one of the biggest challenges with delegation is, I'm scared. What if they don't do it as well? What if they don't do it right? What if they make a mistake? Well, I can guarantee you one thing: if you delegate, they're going to make mistakes. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So it's this thing of like, but what if things don't go as well? What if they don't go right? What if things get messed up? What if people think badly of me? What if they fail and then quit and then leave and now I've lost the staff member? Yeah, all of that might happen. That's the reality. It might happen. But you're never going to be able to grow if you don't learn how to do this one effectively. One of the greatest things that you can do, and if you just think about this for a moment, the 3 most powerful words you can say when you're delegating something is this: I trust you. When you delegate something to someone, and like I said, we'll talk specifically in the next point about some details of it, but when you delegate to someone, you have to be able to say these words and mean it. If you can't say these words, then you're not ready to give that over to someone. Because if you can't trust them to do the thing, now I'm not saying I trust you with the life of my wife and 3 kids. No, I'm not saying that necessarily. Unless you've got people on a plane, you should trust the pilot to fly you and the family there. No, what I'm saying is, if you're getting someone to say, do lead calls, if you can't say, I trust you to do this, then they're not ready to do lead calls. If you're, whatever the situation, teaching group lessons, running holiday programs, whatever it is, if you can't say this, then you're not ready. Either you're not ready or they're not ready. But if you can say that, hey, Jared, can you do this for me? I trust you. No, it's not the answer I wanted, Jared. Clearly, you're not ready. I don't trust you anymore. Okay, I'm going to go. Costa, I trust you. Can you do this thing? Like, that will build something in that leader. Because remember, we're not talking about how to delegate effectively. We're talking about how to develop leaders. And hear you, the big boss who could fire me or could promote me, to hear that person say, hey, I trust you. That's going to do something in them that builds them as a leader. Does that make sense? You hear that? Yeah? Okay, cool. So one thing, here's a practical way of doing this. Write out your list of everything you do. This was me writing a list of everything I do. I did this about 1.5 years ago in preparation for going away at the end of last year. So I just wrote down all the responsibilities, not even the tasks I do, but I wrote down the responsibilities. I'm responsible for hiring new staff, for initial induction, approving leave, organizing cover, performance reviews, employee welfare, like debt collection, I did like everything. And I had a whole bunch of different titles. So HR, customer relations, sales, leadership team, logistics, bus, procurement, finances, business strategy. Those were the things I was responsible for 1.5 years ago. And I went through and I thought, okay, let's have a look and let's see what things I could.
Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this clip, it's from our latest Builder Music School conference, and if you would like access to all the replays from that conference, full videos, uninterrupted, then you can click a link somewhere around this video, and you can go check out all those recordings with the speakers from all around the world. You won't regret it. Every single one of those talks is going to help you run a more successful business, make you a whole lot more money, make your life a lot easier, and keep you up with the trends that are working right now in the music teaching industry. But for now, back to the video, but the link will be somewhere around here. So find it, click it, go check it out. You won't regret it.
Possibly delegate or definitely delegate. And I came up with these things. So yellow, the 2 yellow things, I'm like, I'm not fully there yet. I don't fully trust my staff to approve leave and make sure it all works out just yet, because if that doesn't work, we could get in a bit of a pickle. Marketing strategy, we've got a great guy who's doing some of it, but in terms of the strategy, it's not quite there. So I couldn't do those ones, but all these green ones, it was 16 things I could delegate. I basically did what Nick was talking about in his last thing. I'm pretty sure he read my notes and stole it. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. So I went through it and I thought, okay, cool. Well, all right, if I eliminate those things, I've now got 17 things left. Nearly half of my responsibilities I was able to delegate. And look, I've got nothing under this one anymore. Logistics handled by the staff. Bus handled by the staff, which is where we teach. It's one of our mobile studios. And the procurement, all the gear and sorting out the gear. All of that stuff now gone. Half of my list just delegated, which was fantastic. And that enabled me to be able to go away towards the end of last year. That's one thing that you can do to be able to do that. Now, I just want to add an asterisk thing. There is an assumption here that you have the budget or the staff with some time to be able to delegate these things too. Now, you might need to be creative with it. When I first started, so back in early days, 4 part-time staff members, one of them had an extra couple hours in one of her teaching days. So I started giving her things that fit in those 2 teaching days. I was doing the rest. So you need to get yourself to that point to be able to do it. But once you can, then you're good.
Hey, if you enjoyed that video clip and you would like to see the full presentation along with all the other amazing keynotes and lectures and talks and masterminds from our Builder Music School conference, there'll be a link somewhere around this video. Check it out. Grab the full package. You will not regret it. It was an absolutely incredible time, and I hope that you will get stuck in, learn from those sessions, and also hopefully join us at the next Builder Music School conference as well. So go check it out. I'll see you over there.